All right, guys, welcome to the very first episode of our podcast. I guess we're just going to call it Two Brothers because that's what we are.
Yeah, it's very self-explanatory. We're just two brothers.
Two brothers
with
two mics,
two phones,
a table,
and two chairs.
and a less than ideal financial situation.
Very, very less than ideal.
Very less
financial
than
situation.
ideal. Ideal shouldn't be in the same sentence.
These cameras, or not cameras, these microphones cost.
Yeah, literally, this whole setup here, minus the cameras, cost about $100. So, we'll hope these mics do the trick. I sure hope they do. They look professional, though. If you didn't know anything about mics and you looked at these, you'd be like, wow, they've really got a thing going on here.
They have the arms. I mean, that makes anything look much more professional.
I know, yeah,
Same with the pop filters.
Yeah, pop filters, so we get that pop on here to protect us.
All right.
So, what was I going to mention? Oh, we're going to be taking a 25 to 30 minute break at some point.
You
just
said
because
that wrong. We're going to take a minute at 30 minutes, but it's only going to be like a minute break.
Okay, we're going to take a break at 25 to 30 minutes in because these cameras are DSLRs. Fun fact, any kind of camera can't record over 30 minutes or it then becomes a camcorder, so it's taxed differently when it's imported into countries. That's why Canon DSLRs, Nikon, all those, they only record up to 30 minutes. So, and yeah, that's why we're going to be taking that break. Also to rest from all this talking.
Yeah, I did not know that before. That is a fun fact.
That's a fact. But,
would you like to explain to the audience, just what we're going to be really kind of doing on this podcast? Like what we talk about, what we do here?
So we talk. Anyways, pretty much we're going to be talking about some topics. I did have a sheet of topics written down. But I thought it would be best that stayed at work. It's not because I'm forgetful. I intentionally left it there.
You don't remember any of the topics or anything?
I remember vague selections that I would put those topics into.
Okay.
Categories.
What a great way to start off the first episode of Two Brothers.
Two Brothers, like the Rick and Morty. That's what I think. Every time I hear the Two Brothers, I think of the Rick and Morty, Two Brothers. And
a lot of people search that, so we're going to get some good tags.
Yeah, we'll just flood the tags with Rick and Morty and clickbait. And just put Rick and Morty in every thumbnail, and people will think that's what the
Rick and Morty podcast starring Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon.
Kind of.
Yeah.
If we just add kind of to anything, and you can just defend it no matter what, you can just say, well, kind of, we were not incorrect. But, yeah, Two Brothers, and they've got mics. I did write down a couple of topics. There's 5 words written down on this piece of paper. First one was intro. Bam. Already done. We're off to a good start.
This is going to be a shit show.
Movies. We were going to record this podcast about 2 weeks ago, but this table, as I said in one of my last videos, the table was the biggest issue to get. I found a table, but then when I came to get it, I've been looking at thrift stores for these. So when I found the table, I came back the next day, it was sold. So just yesterday, I found this, bought it, and we picked it up today. So the movies we did see, Reese has seen more movies than I have, but we were going to talk about Spider-Man Homecoming and Baby Driver.
We will still talk about those.
So let's talk about Spider-Man.
It was pretty good.
It was good. All right, next movie, Baby Driver.
Baby Driver we can talk about a little more. It's still a little current. What did you think of it?
I thought it was good. I'm bad with anxiety in movies, like not like bad anxiety, but I just kind of get that like nervousness feeling.
I get what you mean, like you're kind of on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, the whole time, because I was like, I know this seems like the movie where something bad is going to happen to the characters.
I definitely felt that too, and it kind of did. Are we okay with spoiling it?
Let's spoil it. If you haven't seen it by now, that was our whole strategy. We waited this long purposefully.
Yes,
so that we could,
because scheduling conflicts and getting a $15 table.
Yeah, this $15 table was the biggest setback. But so yeah, we can spoil the heck out of it.
If you don't want spoilers, just skip to this timestamp. I'm gonna make Chris do more work.
Yeah, you know what? You're gonna be like, "Where's the timestamp?" And I'm gonna not watch this, and I'm gonna be like, "Well, that'll be good," and I'll upload it, and then
all right,
whatever. Who cares?
It kind of did at the end in a way, like he did go to jail, but it only seemed like that was a small like.
I mean, the 5-year sentence. I mean, it made sense. A lot of people didn't like how quick how it felt like the prison sentence was nothing.
Yeah, it kind of wasn't, because it was what was it? It was like 25 years with parole at 5 years, I think. Yeah. I can't remember.
Well, real quick, I'm just going to explain. I figured since maybe a lot of you haven't even seen the movie. Basically, the premise of the movie is Baby Driver, Ansel Elgort, multi-talented man. He is a driver for this criminal guy, Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey organizes all these crimes. He's like a crime lord. And he's kind of had Baby Driver under his wing as like, you owe me because you broke into my car and stole some things one time. So you're repaying me by driving all my heists for me. Baby Driver's really good at driving. So throughout the movie, he's doing some heists. It's his last job. Turns out, not his last job. Kevin Spacey's like, no, you're going to still drive for me, and you can't say no because I can kill you. So he basically still drives for him. Turns out there's a love interest in the movie. All these things go. He wants out. He tries to get out. Complications. The plot thickens, and then turns out Baby Driver ends up going to the jail at the end of the movie, and that's where we're at now.
I wasn't bothered by the ending like a lot of people were.
Yeah, I thought it made sense with like...
Exactly.
I mean, he was almost forced to do it. He could just be like, yeah, I couldn't do anything about it. I had to do it. He could kill me. He knows where I'm going to go no matter what.
Yeah. And at that point, like, he was still breaking the law, but like, it even showed in the montages and everything, like the people were saying he's still a good kid, all this shit. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of like witnesses that like you would see throughout the movie, but they come back in the trial and they're like, yeah, he did this. Where it was like, whether it be him warning someone to get away from the crime, or whether it be him stealing someone's car but then like stopping and giving them his purse, just like showing that he's a good guy.
Yeah. So it makes sense that he only served the 5 years, because that's when he was able to get parole. And throughout the movie, I did enjoy it. I went alone, and this is the first time I've gone to see a movie alone. Chris has done it a lot of times.
I've done it twice.
He's done it twice. He's used to it.
The first time I felt like it was La La Land I saw alone, and I felt kind of sad because I was just in a theater full of old couples. But
yeah, that's more of a love movie to see with your bae.
Well, I saw Spider-Man alone, and I'll get to a story about that after we're done talking about Baby Driver.
Yeah, and this is my first time seeing a movie alone. Normally I go with a friend or some shit, but at this point I kind of understood, like, there's not much point seeing a movie with someone unless, like, for talking about it afterwards, which I planned on doing a few days afterwards. Couldn't get this table, so couldn't talk about it with anyone. But I did see a friend from school as I was walking out. And she was like, oh, Reese, who'd you come here with?
Oh, God.
I was like, oh, I came by myself.
You should have been like, oh, my girlfriend, she had to go do...
This was 2 days after I broke up with my girlfriend.
Well,
so I'm not going to say that.
God damn
it. And so, I said, oh, I came here by myself. And she's like, wait, really? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm sorry.
What'd you think of the movie?
I'm so sorry. Was she there with other people?
Yeah, she was there with like her sister or something like that. I don't know. Someone else.
Sister doesn't count.
Yeah. Anyways, the guy who directed it, Edgar Wright, I love pretty much all of his movies. I loved this one. I still liked his other ones more. Like he for people who don't know, he made Shaun of the Dead,
Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim, World's End. And I liked those a little more. Well, I guess I like Shaun of the Dead and Scott Pilgrim more than this. Maybe World's End probably is his worst. Still great, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it didn't feel like his other movies. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I love the music thing. I love whenever movies use music right. With Guardians of the Galaxy. I always loved that. You know, just download, because I downloaded the soundtrack to this when I got out of the theater. Same thing with La La Land. Same thing with Guardians. I like when movies use music.
They were able to do it a lot better than like Suicide Squad, who was just like, okay, let's add Bohemian Rhapsody.
I know, Suicide Squad. I hadn't even seen it. I've just seen like a whole bunch of videos about it on the internet. But God, what a mess.
Yes.
But yeah, that was good. Real quick, I want to just add what my second time. Speaking of going to the movie theater alone, I wanted to see Spider-Man: Homecoming a second time, because usually with a lot of the Marvel movies, just most of the time, if a movie I enjoy it, I'll go see it a second time, because the movie theater experience to me is still really good. A lot of people say, I can't wait till I never have to go to the theater again. You know, we just need to start movies in the homes and stuff. I don't know. I like the theater experience. I like it when that AMC robot drops the straw into the cup and then it's all that cinematic music.
Yeah, it makes the $10 ticket worth it.
Yeah, I mean, not really, but I don't mind paying it for that, especially if it's a movie. So many good movies come out now, but whenever I see like those Marvel movies, I try to see them twice. So I went and saw Homecoming a second time. I sped there, got there as like halfway through the commercials. I run up the stairs and I go in the very right corner. Anyways, these two little bitches probably had to be like 8 or 9 years old. Jesus Christ. They obviously did not want to be in this movie theater. That was quite apparent. I think they were there with their big family, but they were just like, they kept going in and out, in and out, in and out, and they would like stomp up the stairs. Like they had no courtesy. I wanted to just like grab them by the wrist and be like, stop it. Like, but I knew, I was like, Chris, normal people don't do that. You can't do that.
This isn't my child.
I wanted to find their parents and scold them. Hindsight, I should have just grabbed the movie theater attendant and said, hey, there's these kids. Yeah, or just, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the first time I saw the movie, so I was like, it's not worth getting my money back.
Yeah.
Had it been the first like opening night,
that would have been definitely
But opening
annoying.
nights are always really good, especially with like a Spider-Man movie or like Marvel movies. When
it's a movie with like a fan base behind it, they're usually a little more respectful, like Star Wars and stuff like that.
The only thing I ever have to worry about when I'm in like a theater like that, like full like people Star Wars or Marvel movies, where it's like everyone's there because they're into these movies. Usually the only thing I worry about is just things that people unintentionally do, like smelling bad or eating food loud or something like that. I don't like that. And I'm never even like, when people want to like eat in movie theaters and bring in food, I'm fine with just sitting down. I don't even need a drink or anything. I'll just sit down and watch.
I sometimes get a drink just because I drink fluids throughout the day. The weirdest thing is when people get... Yeah. The weirdest thing... The weirdest thing is when people get like the cooked food at the movie theaters. Like they get the pretzels aren't the worst example. Like they get the pizza or they get the cheese curds or the French fries.
I thought about that. And it's inconvenient. Like I hate having to eat like, real food while I'm sitting down and have to hold it. I'd much rather have a table, which I know they have theaters that do that. But it was the Iron Man movie marathon a few years ago when Iron Man 3 came out. They had a whole day where it was Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Avengers, and Iron Man 3. And it was a huge thing. Me and a couple of my friends went. It was great. But that was the only time I've ever bought movie theater food that wasn't popcorn. And I got these chicken sliders. And movie theater food's really good. Like, it's overpriced, but it's still really good. I just don't justify every time I spend money on it. I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah, it's just not worth the price, though. Yeah. The worst thing was when I think it was when I saw Dunkirk a few days ago. I could just smell someone opening up like the box of some type of like really cheesy food because you just get that cheese smell.
Oh, God.
And it really kind of threw me out of the movie. I thought it was like Dunkirk adding in like smell-o-vision, but that wouldn't make sense because I doubt there's.
They didn't have cheese back in 1940.
Yeah, back in Dunkirk in 1940, which. That is another topic I'd like to talk about. Sadly, Chris did not see Dunkirk in the time allotted. Even my experience seeing it wasn't as great because my piece of garbage friend Jacob said, yeah, let's go see it at 7:30. Me, being the bastard I am, trusted him. I was like, all right, I met him there at 7:30. And we walked into a non-IMAX theater.
Yeah. I wanted to see Dunkirk. I just haven't had the chance to. Mainly just like for these videos, because like had I gone see it, I would have gotten home and I wouldn't have gotten. So it was I chose to do the videos instead. But that's why we're talking about old movies, and not Dunkirk and Atomic Blonde. Because we also want to see Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, it looks very good. I hope it's good. There are some movies that are coming out that I was like, usually you can tell by a trailer, like, okay, this looks like it'll be like a pretty decent like actual film. Like I thought the Dark Tower was. And it has like a 22% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, Idris Elba looked pretty badass in the movie. Yeah. But Matthew McConaughey, I don't think fit that villain whatsoever.
He doesn't fit many villains.
Really, any villain at all. I mean, because I'm just so used to him just being like a normal guy in movies or the Lincoln commercial.
I was just going to say that.
Like, imagine he's just like saying this prophecy. And he's like, those who walks by the gunslinger drives a Lincoln MKX.
I think the best version of that
steering wheel.
I think the best version of that is Jim Carrey's impersonation for SNL.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, in the SNL skit where he's doing the Lincoln and he's like runs over the kids.
Yeah. Sometimes there's a booger on my fingers and I like to flick it.
Yeah, that was good.
I don't remember if that was an exact quote.
It was the booger. Because he was just like, because he's always doing this in his commercials.
Yeah.
I hate movie trailers now. Like used to be like you would see some of them that spoil everything, but geez, it's like every Marvel
Spider-Man was the worst experience I've had with that.
Like there were some twists in Spider-Man. I'll give that away. I mean, there were like some things I didn't see coming, but just because
we can
add
also
something,
say them because it's even older than Baby Driver.
Well, like for example, Captain America: Civil War. I wish they wouldn't have said Spider-Man was going to be in that. I mean, it
that
got
would have
people
been a
out
lot
to the
better.
theater.
Yeah.
But just imagine if, like, I remember the scene. I was watching the scene the other day because I watch a whole bunch of movie clips now just when I'm bored. Just the scene where it's Tony Stark and Black Widow talking, and then they're like both saying that like, oh, we got to add some people to our team, and she's like, where's yours? And then he kind of like just looks at her and grins, and then next thing you know,
shit. We're having some slight technical difficulties for some reason. One of the cameras just... Did it shut off or what? Well, I'm going to keep talking for you. I don't remember the scene from Civil War. It showed Robert Downey Jr. smiling, and then it cut to an old clip of Robert Downey Jr. as a child and his father. What was Tony Stark's dad?
Yeah. Wait, what are you talking about?
What was what was Tony Stark's dad? Name?
Howard Stark.
Howard Stark.
I don't know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm going off. I don't remember anything from Civil War other than Andrews, and then Spider-Man comes out. What did he say? Was it Andrews?
Andrews. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm pretty sure this recorded everything. It just stopped recording.
Okay, that's strange, especially since it has a new SD card in it.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I was
just bullshitting. I was talking about how like it cut to a clip of Tony Stark as a kid.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you can just.
So
I made that up.
Anyways, and then when you see, you're like, wait, hold on. He's going to see Peter Parker. I mean, once that happened, it was still pretty hype. Like when everyone was watching, it was like, oh my god, because it was just a cool scene. But things like that had been so much nicer had they just
not been spoiled.
And like Spider-Man, you pretty much knew going into it every action sequence. They showed every action sequence in the trailer, not the endings, but you pretty much knew Peter was going to end up having to try and put a ship back together, and Iron Man was going to save the day and scold him. You knew that was going to happen, and take the suit away. You knew that was going to happen.
There's slight twists, like the fact that the girl he crushes on has a white father.
Well, she's mixed. That wasn't like that came out of nowhere. That's like I guess I could have really, if I had put these puzzle pieces together, but
I didn't like it.
Peter Parker should be white. He is. Shit.
No, at this point, I don't care about spoiling it. It's even older. You learn that Hawkman, the
Vulture,
Michael Keaton is the girl that I don't remember her name. Not MJ. Not MJ's father is Michael Keaton, who is the nemesis of Baby Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like the big twist, and it did catch me off guard. I enjoyed that. It was something that like this movie that I pretty much knew everything about going into it was able to get me off guard, and I liked that.
Mm-hmm. That was nice.
That was the one time.
I know, that was it.
And also, okay, Spider-Man has like super strength, right? Is that one of his powers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that explains it, because like there are many times he should have died. A fucking building fell on him.
So he's like, I can never gauge what his strength is in the comics. He's like super strong, like because there's like I've been watching like videos where they talk about things he's lifted in the past. I know that in Civil War, when Tony's in Spider-Man's bedroom and he's like, "Is this you?" and he shows him a clip from YouTube of Spider-Man just like web slinging over, and then he stops a car from flying into a bus. That car is going like 40 miles an hour, and he catches it. And it's like, okay, I take that part. I'm like, he should be able to do, when he's punching someone, he should be able to just like obliterate them.
Yeah.
With how strong he is. So like, and I get it. Like for a movie, you can't just like, make him. There has to be some inconsistencies, I guess. But I don't know.
Overall, I still enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, still good.
It was good. I do agree that trailers just need to get better. Even I think the best trailer I've seen recently was like the trailers they were showing in theaters for Dunkirk, which even then it's kind of weird because like it's Dunkirk. You know everything or you can know everything that happened just by going onto Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But the very first time they showed it was I saw it when I went to see Wonder Woman, and it was one of the trailers there, and it was really cool because I didn't really know anything about it. and even the trailer had me on the edge of my seat.
Mm-hmm.
It was really suspenseful and really good. I didn't know anything about it other than the fact that it was in World War II.
I know, that's cool.
And also the thing that it was like kind of a lesser known thing from World War II. Like it could have been another D-Day movie, and pretty much everyone knows about D-Day, and or like another thing from like Japan or something like that, but not many people know about like Dunkirk because it doesn't involve America.
That's what I like when they take cool stories. That's the cool thing about World War II is there's so many like cool stories that like nobody knows about.
Yeah,
and
we don't know about them because it doesn't. This one didn't involve America, so like we're not really taught.
Well,
as
like
much.
there's a Netflix documentary, or not a documentary. It was like a movie. Did you ever see it? I don't know what it was called. It was about the Irish soldiers in the UN, that like they went over to some place in I think Africa or like it was Uganda. I think I don't remember what it was, but it was an area where there was like a lot of mining going on, but there was like a lot of civil rights violations and stuff in these villages.
Was this during World War II?
No, this was like in the 60s.
Okay.
But it was like, and they sent an Irish force of like 60 men to this little village, and they like held off these forces for like days, and they didn't lose a single man. And it was like, it was a good story. It's on Netflix. It's like a Netflix original, not like a documentary, like actually scripted, done well. It's Braveheart. I think it's Braveheart. Something like that. They're both the same. They
That's
all
a
sound
documentary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got it's the guy that made the Jesus Christ
the Nazi
movie.
guy.
Oh,
Racist.
Oh, yes.
Anyways, the trailers I get, well, because, you know, with that probably got more people to see Captain America, see an Iron Man, but that also, I think about the Hulk, is it Ragnarok? Ragnarok. I can never, I was, like, I even studied the other day, I was, like, looking at it, I said it out loud 10 times, but I still can't. But, like, seeing Hulk in the trailer, most people are going to be like, all right, I'm seeing that, because the last Thor movies we saw were just like, man, I didn't even see the second Thor movie.
I have just because it's on FX. That is how I see many movies.
Wait, hold on. Did they play it 6 times in 1 week?
Yes, right after Jack Reacher.
Yeah, the Jack Reacher. FX always plays Jack Reacher. I'm pretty sure they just bought the rights to that movie. They own it now.
It's not a bad thing. It's a very good action movie.
It's a good movie.
I don't know about Jack Reacher 2.
Have you seen it?
No.
I want to see it.
Because
I like Jack
really
Reacher.
I really enjoyed the first one, but like it's not good from a movie when you like get like there's some hype behind it before it is released and then you hear nothing. Same thing with video games, like specifically what comes to mind are Just Cause 3 and Mafia 3. There's a lot of hype to them because they hadn't had games in a long time, and you don't hear anything about it nowadays. No one does gameplay videos of them.
I want to do a playthrough Mafia 3.
I do know actually Mafia 3 is pretty enjoyable because Jacob's played it. But like Just Cause 3 was a piece of shit, I hear.
Yeah. Well, getting back to the Thor trailer, I think, you know, with Thor it was probably better to see the Hulk. I mean, but what I think is like, let's say you didn't put Spider-Man in the trailer, you didn't put Hulk in the trailer of these, and then people go to see it, and then the few people that do are like telling their friends, hey, you gotta go see the new Thor movie. There's gonna be some cool shit in that movie. You know, that gets people out there too, but
that's not a guarantee as much as it is showing it.
Well, I could see it in one way or another getting out online. People just saying like, you know, there's a huge thing that happens or that you see, you know. But
Thor did it in a good way though. At least like, it's still kind of mysterious what goes on. Like it looks like some random girl comes and wipes out Asgard. Like that needs to.
Have
be
you seen the second trailer? Because before it was like you see the Hulk and he's like, he's a friend from work, and then they go and do that. But then when you see the second trailer, you're like, oh, now I know who's on whose team and what happens and how.
Dang it. Okay, well I'll try. I'm gonna try to not watch that then.
Yeah.
The thing is, they really like they should just stick to one. I feel like. Making more of them is just like it's kind of the same trailer, but they add different bits here and there, and it just is more stuff to spoil.
I know, and like I feel like you either have to go like hardcore no trailers or just watch everything that comes out and not care.
There's a bug there.
Yeah, there is. You know, when I was going and messing with the camera, it would have been a great opportunity for me to grab that water bottle. My mouth is so dry right now. I'm not going to drink yours. My mouth is so dry right now. No, mine's colder because I got mine out later. I'm just going to wait till we go on our break.
All right, our 30-minute break.
Yeah, our 30-minute break. So yeah, I don't know. I wish the trailers wouldn't do that. It's so frustrating, but you know, I get why they do it.
I think transitioning from trailers, but still talking about movies, might want to discuss movies that are coming out that we'd want to see, that like aren't in the future, like distant future, like maybe next Star Wars movie or something like that, or even things that are coming out soon.
Well,
because for sure, I'm hoping that the Han Solo movie is good. Excuse me, I'm about to burp. And
it's like a 60-year-old man. That's how 60-year-old men burp.
I didn't want to make it audible. Okay, anyways.
They burp in their mouth. Our grandpa does that all the time.
Yes, he does. It's not you, Papa. It's Grandpa Gene.
I don't think either of our grandpas are watching this, let alone watching 20 minutes into it.
Are you going to put it on Facebook?
I'll put it on Facebook.
Well, Papa might.
Yeah, they have
he
time.
Has a lot of free time.
I was going to say, yeah, our grandparents have a lot of free time.
Anyways, the one thing I heard about the Han Solo movie is, like, towards the end of it, the director was fired. I don't remember.
It's going to be good.
Yeah. Which is weird because you don't usually hear about, like, production stuff like that happening with, like, Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they're pretty on top of that type of stuff, like getting the right director from the get-go.
There was also something about, like, they had to do with the actor that plays Han Solo. They had to do, like, some acting training, like, through filming.
Ooh,
and
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, there was something, they were having some issues with him, but a lot of people were saying they should have casted Ansel Elgort, because the guy who was in Baby Driver, and they put high school picture of Harrison Ford and Ansel Elgort next to it. They look almost identical.
That would have been a good idea. He's also a really good actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
he'll
really
sing.
good. He's a good actor.
He's a good actor. You know, it's like I like him a lot. You know, I think he's usually, if he's in a movie now, he's kind of like at that level where I like him enough to where I'll probably see whatever he's in.
Also, Childish Gambino and Woody Harrelson are in the movie, so that does redeem it a bit. Mm-hmm. They're both really good actors, and I really enjoy them. So, it's not a question of whether or not I'm going to see it. It's just whether or not I might enjoy it.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure about Rogue One. I was like, maybe that'll be all right. And although a lot of people, have different opinions on it, I thought it was a really enjoyable movie.
I really liked
Rogue One. The Darth Vader shit. That was so cool.
Yeah, I definitely like this podcast, us having the same opinions, so there's little to no discussion. Yeah,
I'm just gonna start disagreeing with things and just
like I thought. Episode 7 was just really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Jason Nash and David Dobrik on their podcast.
You're referencing another podcast on
they'll go over like simple things like, all right, what's your stance on abortion? It's okay. Yeah, me too. Okay, what's your stance on? They both agree on everything. That's the thing. We need to get like, I'm gonna put an ad on Craigslist like for like white supremacists, right wing. And I'm gonna get them on there.
Can we get Alex Jones on here?
Yeah.
We got the frickin' frogs gay.
We're gonna get that. It's the fluoride in the water. It's making the frogs gay.
What is that? That sounds like a messed up person doing a Rick impression.
The reason,
Rick and Morty.
And I looked into it because I was like, he can't be that crazy. I looked into it. What's going on with that is, frogs do have a tendency to like they have homosexual tendencies.
Yeah.
And there's something in fluoride, like with fluoride in water, that like will just kind of like bring that out in them. So they already have it and they'll already do it. So it's not like fluoride is just making them gay. It's just like it's helping them. They normally will be gay, but that's what the frogs.
Humans are known to have very similar anatomy to frogs, so we should be concerned.
I never like have a glass of tap water. I'm like, Todd looked really nice today. I'm not like,
this water is great, but it'd be better cock.
I could go for a cock right now. Like it's a dish. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. If you don't know Alex Jones, just look him up. Look up Alex Jones. That's all you need to do. Pause this, go look up Alex Jones, come back, and be like,
maybe don't come back.
Please come back. Actually, don't go, because you probably won't. So don't go look it up. Just trust us here. Keep our tab open.
Yeah, while you're watching it. So we'll just sit in silence for like, let's assume Alex Jones video is like 5 minutes. So
we'll just sit in silence and just mouth noises. I'm gonna try and get this podcast on iTunes and Google Play. I'm pretty sure it's not that hard to do that, from my understanding. You just
do you have to like pay a subscription fee for it?
No, I don't think you just have to like.
So we're gonna be losing money.
We've already lost money. This table's already taken me down a lot, but there was so much gum under this table when we bought it. It must have been in a school or a rec center or something. Mm-hmm. But God, I was like, it had to be 8 pieces of gum under there.
I'm stocked for the week.
I know. I don't like it because it's all spearmint. I hate spearmint.
Yeah, there was one red one that I assume was fruity.
No, it was bubblegum. All right, guys. So at this point in the podcast, my recording stopped. Didn't know it, so we rambled on about the gum under the table for another 30 seconds, so it's probably best that this is not in the podcast. But what we're continuing off with is our sponsors for the show. So, Chris, Reese, let's get into it. Oh, God. Okay, video's rolling now.
You're in more debt than I am.
Let's get to it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so did you know at Burger King you can get 2 Whoppers, 2 fries, 2 drinks for $10?
Hold on. That's normally a value. I'm not going to look it up. That's not usually $10. You're telling me that if I were to go right now, I can get 2 Whoppers, 2 fries, 2 drinks, 6 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for $10.
$10. You are right. Now, I
Is this
was
for a
thinking
limited
about,
time only?
maybe.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
I don't
in the
know. I
commercial.
feel like they've been doing it.
We're
for a
referencing
while.
just one commercial, so every other joke we make about
I
it
think
isn't.
I don't know if we saw the commercial and started joking about it. I'm pretty sure before we started joking about it, we actually did do the 2 for 10.
Yes, we did. And was
Rhinelander.
Yeah, no,
We-
it wasn't Rhinelander. It was just.
Yeah, it was 'cause
it was.
We
yeah.
were.
Oh, I feel like that'd be a fun story to tell real quick about our.
We'll tell that another episode. All right, we've got all these topics to talk about on this one.
What are we
This
on right
5
now?
words.
What's the last one say?
Movies. So we still have to talk about that and that. We'll get to it another time. We'll save that. So now you'll have to wait for the next next episode.
That's
Just
not
look forward to
incentive.
that. What?
That's not an incentive.
Maybe it is. Only one way to find out. You know what that is? To watch the next episode.
Okay. Do you want to just?
Well, our
cold
next
cut, move
sponsor.
on to the,
Hold
next
on,
sponsor.
We've got more
okay.
sponsors.
You haven't written any of this down.
All right. So next sponsor is Charmin Ultra Strong.
You're already pretty close. You made a video about it.
Yeah, I made a video about it. Go check it out. Dad catches me with my fidget spinners when spinners were big. So go check that out. But yeah,
You say that as if they're not right now.
they aren't. Charmin Ultra Strong, but also it's still soft. So it's the same softness that you're used to with Charmin.
Is that the one with the bears with the big butts?
Yeah, the bears.
Yeah.
I like
those.
Yeah, see? So go buy them. Still looking for some other ones to sponsor us. I don't know. I just started thinking about this bit like literally right before I did it. This
Yeah,
was not premeditated.
We could probably get some sponsors from New Year for these.
New what?
New Year.
I thought it was newer.
It's 2 E's. It's new E.
I'm not French.
And who made these microphones?
I don't know. Whatever. I'm pretty sure that these mics have been done like so many times before by different cheap companies.
That's
like,
a good point.
Pretty sure there's so many different variations. Like
This was made by some company. Another company bought 7,000 of them.
this is like China
they're
Company
branding
number
on it.
8.
Yeah.
This is
So, probably Professional Low Noise Microphone Cable, Inc. Could sponsor us.
there we go.
Pulp Fiction could. Is that in frame? It is.
We'll have more sponsors next episode. But hopefully we get at least Burger King on our side.
We should contact them about this.
Maybe though. You ever know how just like whenever you're driving by a Burger King, it's just like
You get a little sad.
back when I had my old car and I usually never knew if there was an issue with it or not, I would always be like worrisome about that. Every time I drive by a Burger King, I'd be like, okay, either my engine is overheating or it's just Burger King.
Yeah.
Because it smells like. Well, I saw
everything.
someone I saw on YouTube compare it to a crematorium, and I thought that was good. So like, yeah, it's pretty close.
That's a good fit. I haven't had Burger King in so long.
I work by one, so
yeah.
I'm usually like always tempted. Well, actually, speaking of Burger King,
Tempted. You're tempted to have Burger
I'm not
King.
Okay. Bad choice of
Very,
words.
very bad wording.
A few days ago when I was working, I went over there and I was in the drive-thru. Old man burp. And it was
We
one
should
of
put
those.
that on a t-shirt. That should be our merch. Old man burp. Just the words.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I
Got
would
it.
love to wear a shirt that says that. But I was going and it was one of those 2-lane drive-through things. There was a guy already in the other lane, pickup truck, maybe white trash in his 30s, let's call him that. And he was ordering, it looked like. That's what I thought he was doing at first glance. And I was sitting there waiting at the other one, and all of a sudden he starts yelling at the microphone. He's like, "What do you mean you don't have Burger King doesn't sell burgers?" And he was like, "Sorry, actually, it's just that." And he's like, no, how are we gonna fix this?" And my coworker's like, "Oh, you should have said something." It's like, yeah, me. tiny man is gonna get out of my little Volkswagen Jetta and be like, "Hey, I don't think you should be saying that to him,
Sir,
sir,
you need to be more
Sir.
respectful.
sir. What are we gonna do about this? What are we gonna do about this?" But yeah, I don't want to.
We need to move past this. How are we gonna fix this?
I'm not gonna like get out with my polo and be like, "Sir, I'll take my polo off if I have to." So I didn't, but I angrily put my car into sport mode so it'd be louder, and I zoomed out of there because I wanted that guy I wanted him to eat my shorts. So
Zoom is a good word for it because it's fast, but it's zoom like that. That's your car.
Yeah, well, the sport mode, all it does is just it upshifts later and it downshifts sooner, so your car just gets louder and it sucks more gas. That's really all it is. I went to Taco Bell
when I was driving Mom's 2006 Subaru Outback. I drove it to Oregon.
That's another sponsor.
Yes, 2006 Subaru Outback.
It's just the 2006 one.
Yeah,
we're having a lot of trouble selling those. We still got some extra.
So maybe this podcast,
it's gonna get 9 views.
I accidentally put it into sport mode and didn't realize, and it was just like there. I didn't even notice at first until I saw the little S was highlighted. I was like, huh, wow, this is useless.
Yeah. Well, I feel sporty now. No matter what, you're not gonna be like in your 2006 Outback and you'll be like, all right, it's time to burn some rubber.
This is like, it's like when you drive up to a stoplight, you look over, lower your sunglasses at the hot babes to your left, put them back, and then rev your engine.
Rev your engine and just... That's what the engine sounds like when it revs.
Anyways, back to Burger King. I was going to say that I have not had it in years because the small town that I live in...
We had it last year.
Huh? No? Oh, yeah.
We went to Rhinelander.
That's just last year. But usually most fast food places I have like more frequently than that. I am a fast food connoisseur of sorts. And because the Burger King in my small town closed down because
you're looking at the camera that's off still. You keep looking at that's the one that
because the Burger King in the town that I live in closed down because the McDonald's that moved here. And I can't say my life is not any better or any worse since it just closed down because Burger King is just there.
It's just okay. I used to when I like was in high school and stuff, like I would get there. They had when they started doing the 10-piece nuggets for $1.50. I would do that a lot.
Are their nuggets good?
Yeah, they're not bad. They're different than McDonald's, but they're still good.
Are they better than McNuggets?
I don't know. They're different. That's all I can say. It's not like I don't know distinct. I'm not like these are distinctly better.
I see white girls on Twitter just always talking about nugs, and I can't help but think that there's nothing better in this world than chicken McNuggets. But when I eat them, they're garbage.
Well, I don't know, because what I would do a lot, I've been like trying to eat a lot healthier so fast. The only fast food I do is like Chipotle nowadays, even though it's not like it's still a lot of calories. I feel better when I eat Chipotle. I don't feel better.
There's vegetables.
There's some corn in there. I order the corn. It's in there because on purpose. But
I made that decision, not them.
The reason the corn's in there is because of me. And there's some salsa that's got peppers. And I think it's chicken. But I used to get like McDonald's a lot, like because it's like right on my way home.
Yeah.
And they do the McTwo for $5, and it's just you can get 2 like kind of more premium items ish for $5. And I would get chicken nuggets, a fish fillet. I love the fish fillets so much. And then I would get like a quarter pounder, and I would just scarf all that down with a Sprite, and I would just sit there and do a lot of old man burps for like 6 minutes, and then take a nap.
I definitely have that feeling of just like, or I know that feeling of getting McDonald's, thinking it's not going to be as bad as last time, and then it turning out to be as bad as last time.
What always happens is like you just don't want to do anything after. Like I've been doing meal preps a lot more, so like it's better food and it's not in like crazy quantities. So I'll eat it and then I won't be like stuffed, but I'll be like a little bit more full afterwards. But
you're full and it probably lasts longer. Like you don't need to eat as much.
It depends on like the frequency of how much you eat it. So like if I'm eating like frequently, it all depends on how much you eat throughout the day. But the biggest thing I know is I don't feel like shit afterwards. Like I'll eat it, but it's not that I feel like shit after like McDonald's or Portillo's or anything like that. I'll eat it and then I'll be stuffed and I'll just kind of want to like chill out and like
take a nap. It's like Thanksgiving type shit where it's like Uncle Dennis say like just unbuckle your belt and like let your gut hang out and just.
Well, Bill Burr said it best. He was like,
and you're gonna say it worse.
Yep. And He was like, you get your whole day planned out and shit, everything. You're gonna do so much, and then one egg McMuffin ruins it all. You're just sitting on the couch like, oh, it's time for a nap. Oh, 9 a.m. Okay, all right, it's a nap. Hey, that's the most he's laughed all show. I said it, debatably worse, but
I'm not laughing.
I hate that face. It pisses me off when you make that face.
My worst experience with McDonald's breakfast was getting the Cinemelts on my way to work.
Oh,
and
God.
on my way to work to another fast food place, Culver's, and it was bad because they somehow messed it up to where some of the icing was on the outside of the box as well, and I was eating it on my way, so I had it on like my thigh. And I moved it up, and the icing had left a stain on my pants to where it looked like
came himself.
Shit. We wear aprons though, so like it'd cover it up. But getting into the building to the back, getting my apron on, I just kind of had my hat there that we have to wear and just walked like that.
Well,
really
I imagine
weirdly.
You just walking in, still eating as you're walking in the Culver, like you put that down and pick up a thing of custard, and you start. Oh my God! There's like, fat fuck.
I need to stop eating at Culver's.
Well, most of the time, because I don't like eggs that much. Just like when I eat in the morning, I'm just like
in general, or like specific types of eggs.
Well, just the ones I make at home usually, because I'll just make them over easy. I'll throw them on, cook them one side, cook them on the other, and then just scarf them down.
I'm not a huge fan of over easy. That might be why, but come on.
Well, and also like the way I've been waking up in the morning, I haven't been waking up at efficient times. So like usually once I'm in the shower and I get ready, I just kind of go out the door. So I'll stop at McDonald's and get a McMuffin and a hash brown, which I then have to put together on my own. That's a bit for another time.
Yeah, more on that later.
And so I usually just kind of eat one of those, and I don't know why. I'm just like, I get to work and I sit down and I'm just like, oh, I feel like I should not be awake right now. Mm-hmm. And I never learn, but I'm always so hungry in the morning. So
you bringing up earlier how much you love the fish fillets reminds me. I think another good sponsor would be Long John Silver's.
No.
Okay. Another one. What about Ruby Tuesdays?
My dead body. I don't even think they have enough money to keep their restaurants that are open, let alone give it to us.
I have a feeling the 3 people still working there are probably not PR people, so they will not be able to...
They have 3 employees spread out over 32 locations.
Yeah. They do a lot of driving.
It's just people sitting down at Ruby Tuesday. I knew their service sucked, but this is awful.
One of the, if not the location, I don't know if there's more than one, in the city we live in. Do we care about saying where we live in?
There's just this Rockford outside of Chicago.
Yeah. I think for sure there's one Ruby Tuesdays here. I don't know if there's any more, but that one is closing down now and the building is for sale. I am so happy.
I know. I was telling Reese I want to turn it into a children's hospital or something. Because I want to turn something that was so bad and make some good out of it.
Yeah. He's just broke, so we can't.
Yeah, so we can't. But we can only dream.
Yeah, we can just take pictures of it and put it on Snapchat and make tweets about it.
2 different locations that are Long John Silver's / KFC's in the area. One of them burnt to the ground. It didn't burn to the ground. It just like there was a huge fire inside, so it was like a loss. Yeah. But they, for the past like 2 months since I've been working at my new job, I drive by it a lot. They've been having the windows boarded up, and I always think when I drive by it, the first time I didn't know it was the one that caught on fire. I just saw the windows boarded up, and I was like, maybe just all Long John Silver's have their windows boarded up. But then I was like, no, that's the one that caught on fire.
Yeah, you're being too optimistic.
And now it's demolished to the ground. So it's the best looking Long John Silver's I've ever seen.
Yeah. To be fair, Chris and I's hatreds of both Ruby Tuesdays and Long John Silver's are kind of unfounded.
I'm pretty sure it's kind of like
mine with Long John Silver's is because I haven't been there since like I was a kid, I think.
Well, and I'm pretty sure they're just pretty shit food. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's universal.
Ruby Tuesdays, I do know. I haven't been there, but I've been told that it's just shit food. Their marketing just tells me it is.
They have a good salad bar. That was the only thing that people...
Exactly. That's the thing they market. We got a salad bar.
Hey, you know those salads that other restaurants make for you and it's good? We're going to make you do it. And you're going to feel good. You're going to feel good about it. Because you can be like, isn't it nice they let us make our own salads?
They have I don't understand why they push their salad bar when they could be pushing the fact they have a burger that weighs a full pound. Not as in the everything else and all together with the plate weighs a pound. No. The meat. It weighs a pound.
That's a lot. That's like a thing of hamburger you buy at the store.
Yeah, exactly.
That's too much.
Yeah.
It's way too much.
Yeah. A friend of mine, Tyler, apparently went to Ruby Tuesdays with his friend Blake and his dad, and they were like going to the movies, and afterwards they're like, "Where do you want to go get some food?" And this kid's dad said, "Why don't we go to Ruby Tuesdays?" Tyler laughed, thinking it was a joke.
Because most adults don't know that
It's
about
garbage.
This joke that 4 teenagers joke about.
Yeah.
Much.
I also don't understand who came up with the name, because they took a pretty mediocre gemstone, ruby, alright, best one is diamond, why don't you do something with diamond, and then also one of the most mediocre days in the week.
There was like a PR meeting when they were creating this restaurant, and then one of the guys was like, they were just coming up with shit all day. Nobody could think of anything good, and then somebody was like, how about Ruby Tuesdays? And they're like, Todd, that fucking sucks, you're an idiot. And he's like, okay, think of something better. And he's like, all right, fine, we'll do Ruby Tuesdays, but I bet someone's probably gonna be talking shit about this name sometime in the future.
Or it could have been like all of like that situation, except like all of them hated it except for that one guy, and then the boss is also a senile 110-year-old man. He's like, I like Ruby Tuesday.
He's like, that's a good name.
We're gonna do that one.
Like, no one's ever gonna show it's Ruby Tuesdays. No one's ever gonna be talking about this unless it's the last destination for dinner. And then here,
hold on,
2 strapping young men on a podcast.
What if Ruby Tuesdays is all a front for the mob?
Probably. I mean, if you wanted to think of some place so forgettable.
Exactly. So forgettable and so just sly with their marketing. Like, hey, we have a salad bar.
So sly with their marketing. They have none. I've never seen a Ruby Tuesdays commercial.
We were doing advertisement analysis in a writing class, and we had to just, for one specific example, analyze an advertisement, shit like that. I did a Ruby Tuesday advertisement. I was just joking around saying, oh, Ruby Tuesday ad. I was surprised they have them. I just didn't think they have commercials.
Yeah, I've just never seen one.
I think I've actually seen one on TV, and it was the weirdest thing ever, because, like, this is when I started hating them, and so it all just... It was like Doctor Strange getting pushed out of his body, like that type of thing.
Well, I know because I know Outback has them because it's always that same
salad
like
bar. You mean?
No, the ads and stuff that I see a lot of. At the Outback, I see a lot of.
Put another shrimp on the barbie. The guy saying, like, doing his annoying voice.
Come to the Outback, like you could tell he's just like this happy, smiling Australian guy. Like he's smiling the whole time he's recording.
Imagine replacing one of those ads with the Australian male Siri voice.
Oh God, yeah, Reese, he threw me off guard. I didn't know that I've been. Not with the times. I guess you can change Siri's voice.
Yes, it is American man or woman, British man or woman, and Australian man or woman.
And that's the most like...
So only the good countries.
God, the most annoying shit ever.
White ones.
Also, when I was leaning over here, you couldn't hear me that well. I'm not sure. I didn't know. I think for the most part, it's not too directional, these mics. So I'm pretty sure I sound different over here. So if I was a little bit for the podcast, excuse me for that.
We'll find out. Trial and error.
We'll find out. Yeah, I mean, I've got at least 4 people that might consider watching this.
Yeah, I know. I haven't told anyone about this. My side of the marketing share has been messed up. I'm sorry.
I told my Jamesies on my last video.
Jamers,
Chris Jamer, Jamesies. I'm still figuring it out. All right, it's
Yeah.
Chris Jamers is too copying of Jake Paul. Jamesies is kind of upsetting to say. Like you don't like it's like kind of cringy just to say it. So I like that. By the way, I'm joking about this whole name for my fan base. I'm hoping that most of my audience at least kind of like got the idea that I'm joking. I'm not actually calling any of you anything. But to clarify, this is the place to clarify it. So.
Like the only person who has a good name for them that like I don't get angry at is Philip DeFranco with The Nation.
Yeah,
and like everyone else, it's just kind of weird. Jake Paul is the worst because he calls everyone a family, and that's weird to me.
Yeah, family's always weird. Well, I got my family of 96 people. 97. Ooh. Well, I wonder if it's 98. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, and I'll make sure to drop a post on Wazer Games for all my Wazies out there.
Wazies, Jesus Christ. Reese used to do a YouTube channel called Wazer Games.
I have not rebranded it yet.
You haven't?
I haven't.
Do you still have videos on there?
They're all unlisted.
And still 97 subscribers.
Yeah.
It's slow burn, I call it.
Wazer Games has 119. Hasn't been a video on there for a year. The last video I uploaded was a black screen called Wazer Games Best of 2015, and it was a black screen for 30 seconds. And
That's funny, but it's like dumb as fuck.
Yeah, it is. It's the best thing I've ever done on that channel. Everything else, let me go through the history. Cheat code videos, shitty Minecraft videos.
The black screen video.
Yeah. No, I also did Sony Vegas Pro 12/13 tutorial videos, and then also Grand Theft Auto videos. I dabbled in a few other games.
I was thinking, I'm not sure how much time we're coming up on. I wanted to bring up just a little bit of net neutrality before we go. So we can talk about it probably next podcast. I think some wheels will turn a little bit more in this whole thing. If you don't know, just to sum up net neutrality, right now the internet, I'm pretty sure right now it is, it's classified as a Title II utility.
Yeah.
So that means that like it's regulated, and Comcast and Time Warner, they can't just like do whatever they want with it, because it's like electricity and water and all that, like utilities. Now the FCC is trying to push. The FCC has a new chairman. I forgot his name. I'll look it up next episode. We'll talk about it more. But the new chairman Trump appointed, he was the only one that's ever been in the FCC, like in Obama's term, that was against net neutrality, and now he's the chairman. And as far as I know, a few days ago they swore in a couple extra people, so now they have a full line of all 5 people in the FCC. Chairman's, I don't know what they call it.
Chairman.
The chairman. They have all 5 chairmen, but it's a Republican majority, and so far the Republicans, because the right's whole argument is like small government, less regulated.
Yeah, which, like,
and it sounds ideal. Like, I get the idea, the appeal of just like not having the government in your business.
In a utopian world where everyone doesn't have nefarious like reasons behind doing something, it'd work, because then
I feel like there's so many people. Like, you can't just
competition does create money in normal circumstances, but in this, like, it's already shown that like there are areas and agreements where like Time Warner and Comcast are like, hey, Comcast, don't step on this area because this is where Time Warner's, and Comcast is like, all right, don't come to like the Midwest and shit like that.
Yeah, and because the big argument on the right too with the small government is they think that like just having competition, like that's a big thing with like the government staying out of business, is like, well, the free market will decide who succeeds. So like,
but that free market has already failed with like regional monopolies. Like, Comcast can start charging me and my mom a lot of money for internet, and we can leave and go to Frontier, who is garbage.
Yeah, so like they'll basically like, there is other options, but they're not, because we have like,
realistically there's no other options.
Yeah, there's like the foundation, that is pretty much just like built into infrastructure and stuff, like all the good stuff, that's been here forever. Comcast, Time Warner, they all own it. They own like the good, they've got the good internet. So basically, if you want to leave, you could, but you just wouldn't get the good stuff. So anyways, there's a Republican majority on the FCC chairman, and that a lot of people think that they're going to vote against net neutrality, which an example or a few examples of no net neutrality, let's say Comcast will give you, the basic internet package, which, that comes with YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Google, and a few others. And then you can get for $15 more a month, you could also get Netflix and Hulu, because, let's say Comcast doesn't like Netflix because they take away from TV. So they're like, hey, you got to pay us more if you want to. So people can be like, well, I don't want to pay more, so I'm just not going to watch Netflix. Netflix suffers. They can't do that right now. They have to give you everything. It's the internet. They can't restrict you from websites.
Another good way to explain it is in the example of like water is a utility, and if there was no water neutrality, it'd be like, okay, well, you want better tasting or healthier water. Oh, you don't want lead in your water? Pay us $300 extra a month and you'll get that.
Yeah, so that's the whole argument with, and I've seen the Comcast has put out videos, like ads and stuff on Twitter, where they're like, trust us, we're not gonna do anything if there's no, we believe in net neutrality, that's why you can trust us. But then I think like, okay, then why is it such a big deal for you? Why do you so much want to take away Title II?
Exactly.
Like,
if you support net neutrality, you should be okay with keeping Title II.
And it's the same thing with like the FCC chairman. He's like, I just believe, he's trying to like get all the people on the right fired up, and he's like, don't you want the government just to stay out of this? Don't you want a free and open internet? That's what they say, a free and open internet, because the government's not involved. But then, totally leaving out the fact that Comcast will fuck you in the ass.
There are some times where like
they fuck me in the ass right now. imagine how much more they would if there was no net
Yeah,
neutrality.
I've seen pictures and stuff like that of like Comcast trying out like, you've run out of like, or like where they start charging like.
Are you still looking at the
data
camera
caps.
that doesn't?
No, I'm trying to
Okay,
think.
okay.
Data caps where it's like, all right, you get 300 gigabytes a month.
Well, I think I have a data cap already. I think everyone has a data cap because mine's at like 1,000 gigs.
Okay,
which is something that like
it's got to be really high.
yeah,
'cause I've never
nobody
reached
usually
it.
gets to that. But I mean, if you're uploading like 4K videos to YouTube, then
That,
maybe it's
like,
different. But
if that becomes a norm where it like gets lower and shit like that, they start charging more. I would hate that.
well, right now I pay for 75 megabits or higher internet. I've been averaging 50 lately. It's like sucking. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upgrade to you can get we don't have gigabit in the area. That's like Chicago. But you can upgrade to like you can get 300 megabit internet for like $100 now.
Shit.
It's cheaper. It's getting a lot cheaper. So, but you have to get your own router and like modem. So I'd have to buy one of the nice ones. But I think I'm gonna do that soon. But
It's still pretty worth it, I'd say.
yeah, I think that'd be
That's
nice.
great.
But so basically that's the whole thing about net neutrality. They swore in a girl and a guy. I forgot their names. They both have really just like names. But
Like
the girl
long
is
and complicated names.
just like weird to say, like hard to say. Next episode of the podcast, I'll get all the info so we can just dive into it a little bit deeper. But from my understanding, the girl is a Democrat and she is for Title II, and the guy is the opposite. He's against Title II.
He's also a guy, so he is the opposite.
Yeah, he is. Yes. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. And the thing with, and I don't want to like classify Republicans in general. I don't like, even though I disagree with a lot of them, I don't want to just like throw everyone in and generalize. But I know I am going to generalize Republican congressmen and senators.
Yeah.
They are usually the ones that you see like when they're going against Title II. You also see, Comcast donated to their, donated to them and stuff. That's why I want to talk to Austin sometime, and Austin's one of our friends. He's really big into like politics and stuff.
Austin Soderman, son of Illinois State Senator Steve Soderman.
Yeah, I want to get him on, maybe talk to him just because I know he knows a lot more than me. Talk to him about lobbying and stuff because it's something that I know happens, but it sounds like such a why is this a thing? Like I understand there's pros and cons to it, but I feel like there's more wrong that gets done with lobbying.
I think one of the worst things with lobbying is I'm not completely educated on this subject.
Coming to Two Brothers, we've got all the facts.
I know quite a lot about politics, some of the things, but I have a very base knowledge about most things in politics. Only a base knowledge. Like there was a law that was passed at some point that basically corporations can be classified as people, and I think that's what allows corporations to donate money as lobbyists and shit like that. So Comcast can give all this money to so and so to be able to be for or against net neutrality. But now that I think about it, even if it were just people being able to do it, it could be just the CEO of Comcast donates that money.
Yeah, I just wish that they couldn't take donations and I don't know. It's
donations are something that really kind of mess up mess up politics in general. Like John Oliver does a lot of stuff talking with politicians where it's like they say that almost like 2/3 of their time is spent calling and asking for donations, not doing actual lawmaking.
Yeah, and
that's just sad.
The company I work at, I'm not going to name them, but they
Schnucks.
No, not them, but don't name the other one. The other one I have 2 jobs, but the other one I was looking on their website today and they were talking about like, we interviewed one of our lobbyists and they were just talking about how, we send so and so in to talk with lawmakers to help push our agenda, and I'm like, this sounds shitty. Like this doesn't sound like, cheerful and like, I guess there's like certain areas to like make healthcare cheaper in this area. I'll go that far. It's healthcare, but to make it cheaper in this area and that area, I get that. But just the idea that you're just like pushing your agenda and like, you're just like, yeah, this is what we're doing. It's just weird. I don't know. So I don't want to like dive into that until I have more knowledge on it. But same thing with net neutrality. So I think within the next week, some things might happen with that. So I don't know. I'll have to look into that, but we'll talk about it more in the next episode.
Yeah. AKA Republicans suck.
Yeah.
All of them. They're terrible.
What's
your next point?
Well, I was gonna end it here because I think it's been just a little under an hour.
Okay.
So we did have some minor setbacks this episode, technical difficulties.
My camera's garbage.
All in all, I think this was an all right episode. We've learned from our tiny mistakes. Now we have more know-how. Hope you guys did enjoy this
To be
episode.
fair, some of these weren't mistakes. They're just, all right, well, we can't do that in the future.
Yes, mistakes-ish. Well,
All right.
anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. If you've watched this far, I want to know. We should do something if you've watched this far. Tweet,
Comment, tweet, or anything like that.
tweet. Oh, we should have him tweet a word.
No.
Something like a phrase.
Yeah. I was about to come up with one until you interrupted me. Tweet.
God damn it! Hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
I'm gonna juice some of that sweet extra
Okay.
time. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Tweet something like, 2 brothers.
2 for $10 Whopper deal.
No, 2 brothers, 2 mics, 2 Whoppers.
That's too much.
2
God damn it! I
Whoppers.
didn't mean to do that, but
2 Whoppers,
it should just be
2 mics, 2 mics, or 2 Whopper, or 2
Or no,
brothers.
how about just do Whopper meal deal. Tweet
Okay.
that at me.
Yeah, or at me also. I'm going
Or
to plug
comment Whopper meal deal.
Yeah.
How about do that?
I'm going to plug myself as well because the only thing I have to plug is my Twitter at Reese M Films.
I'll put it in the description.
I make kind of funny things sometimes. Other times I get personal and talk about my relationships.
And then I DM him and say, "Hey, watch out! Just don't get too personal. It's
Yeah.
Twitter." But I make some funny tweets and usually go unrecognized.
That's universal for both of us.
So yeah, go check us out on there. So yeah, if you have gotten this far, Whopper meal deal in the comments or on Twitter, let us know that you watched this far. Yeah. Also, so I will update. I'm going on Twitter. I also have my Facebook page. All my links to everything are down in the description. But I'll update on any of those if we get these on iTunes and Google Play and stuff. So
Also, even though we are starting out with kind of a smaller audience, if you do have any possible questions you'd like to have answered, it's not likely that we're gonna have
get
many.
nothing. We're gonna
We're gonna have like
like
one.
how long have you guys been brothers? I don't know. You guys are really boring. I don't know. I don't care about your life.
Anyways, if you have any questions that you'd like to have answered by a high schooler and a college dropout, then
I just
you
chose differently after
you signed up for a day.
Thanks for watching,
you
guys.
used the email and the
This is
Amazon
not what I
account.
bought this table for. I didn't buy all this shit to get lectured. Thanks
I
for
can go
watching,
get Dad
guys.
too. He can come lecture.
Oh God, he's sleeping. We don't want to bother him, and then
Yes.
because I'm gonna get extra. Anyways, all right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. Also, I'll upload regularly. I don't like saying that I upload regularly.
Because you don't.
What I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna say my schedule. I'm just gonna do it, and then I'll say it once I've done it for a while. That's
Or
smart.
Just
but-
have a schedule like you upload once a week, but anytime. It doesn't matter when, man.
well, the podcast is going up every week no matter what, because this
Alright.
isn't too hard to do.
Well, it is with scheduling.
Well, yeah, but no matter what, we have 7 days. I mean, I was thinking we'll put this out on Monday, so that no matter what, we'll have 7 days to get this thing figured out.
But we also need you need to see Dunkirk, and both of
Jesus Christ, it sounded like a grenade went off in your mouth.
you need to see Dunkirk, and both of us need to see Atomic Blonde.
Okay, so we'll try and see those. So next one, actually no, next episode of the podcast, we'll talk about The Force Awakens.
we're going to talk about Citizen Kane next time.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't either. It's from 1940 though.
Oh.
Another tagline for this is 2 brothers, 2 movies, 2 mics. Because we talked about 2 movies, and we're going to talk about 2 movies next time.
And we've got 2 mics.
And 2 chairs. 2. Dude, we have 2 of everything, because there's 2 of us. We should end this. This has been a fucking long ass outro.
People are just like sitting there like with their like hand hovering over the X
dislike
button on
button.
the tab on the dislike button. They're just like, oh, God.
Should I?
But all right, thanks for watching. See you guys next week.
Yeah.